In about 10 minutes, this girl will be. A high school girl suddenly collapsed at the convenience store in the hospital where I work. Seeing her, the young doctor in charge muttered, trembling. I'm just a staff member of the convenience store. But I felt strongly that I couldn't abandon her. Bring the chart. Huh? Quick, show me her chart. I snatched the chart from the young doctor. After thoroughly checking the chart, I felt confident that I could do it. 10 minutes is more than enough time. Saying this, I led the young doctor to the operating room. I could faintly hear the sound of my life moving forward again. I am Tom. I'm a man in my 50s working at a hospital convenience store. With that said, my time with the store is still quite short. About a month, I would say. Until a year ago, I was in a different profession. But there, I experienced a setback. Tom, what do you plan to do now? What to do? I really have no idea. If you don't know, I can introduce you to a place. Why not work there for now, until you settle down? Thanks to the introduction by Matt, an acquaintance from college, I switched to working at this convenience store. Ahaha, take your time. Thank you. Now, let me get this for you. At the store, I'm kept busy with the unfamiliar task of operating the cash register and restocking. But, being able to chat with customers makes the job enjoyable. It somehow feels like it fits me, mentally. At least, it suits the current me, who faced failure in my previous job. Sorry to keep you waiting. Thanks, as always. No, thank you. The hospital convenience store doesn't attract troublesome customers, like drunkards or menacing guys, so it's calm and easy to manage. I'm grateful to Matt for introducing me to this job. Well, if I say it out loud. So, you'll treat your benefactor to a meal, right, he'd say, and I'd end up treating him. So, I don't say it. Tom, you're really conscientious. Not at all. And you're so cheerful, you even lift my spirits. Here, please take this if you'd like. An elderly lady who frequents the store often buys extra candies to leave for me as a treat. Tom, did you watch the baseball game yesterday? An elderly man who loves baseball comes to me to passionately discuss the game. There are also others. Like a little girl delighted by the flowers blooming in the courtyard. And a boy talking about what he wants to do once he's discharged from the hospital. Doctors also drop by for small talk during their breaks at work. Various people come to the store, chatting about trivial things. Good morning, mister. Good morning. It was Mary, a high school girl who was admitted about a month ago when I started working here. She comes by every day to talk about various things with me. By the way, why are you in the hospital? It's nothing big, just a minor illness. In the beginning, I might have asked some intrusive questions, but she always answered with a smile. How long have you been running the store, mister? I just started recently. Oh, is that right? Since you also started working here recently, we're like classmates. She said this with a happy smile. She's always bright and smiling, but there was something that still concerned me. Most people who come to the store are discharged in about 1 to 2 weeks. However, despite saying she didn't have a serious illness, Mary didn't seem to be getting discharged anytime soon. Do you like this character too, mister? Yeah, I do. I didn't expect you to like it as well, Mary. It seems we have a lot in common. Somehow, Mary and I clicked, and she fondly called me Mr. all the time. Even when she didn't need to buy anything, she would come to the store and wait until I was free to strike up a conversation. Hey, mister, guess what? Some of my high school friends came to visit me the other day. Oh, is that so? Yeah, and one of them accidentally drank another kid's juice. That kid doesn't like sweet stuff, but they drank a sweet one, so they spit it out. That must have been quite a scene. We talked about her school friends. My teacher keeps calling me the wrong name. And everyone in the class was like, that's not right. I see. People used to call me something else instead of Tom, and everyone was like, who's that? It's funny how people make reading mistakes even when it's not that difficult. We talked about her school teachers. She would change her expressions playfully and share many stories. Sometimes, she would talk about her younger siblings. I was certainly comforted by her smile, and the other store employees and customers also watched over her warmly. Those moments were peaceful and comforting. Wait a minute. Tom, what's wrong? Oh, Mary's here again. Yes. I just feel like she doesn't look too well. One day, Mary came to the store to buy a drink, but she looked paler than usual. I had a bad feeling seeing her like that. Mary. Excuse me, I want to ask you something. Yes, of course. I was about to go over to Mary, but at that moment, another customer called me over. I was concerned about Mary, but I also had to do my job. While I was attending to that customer. Are you okay? There was a sound of someone falling and items dropping. Everyone in the store was shocked and rushed towards the sound, only to find Mary lying on the ground. Mary. Mary. I immediately checked her pulse and heartbeat. She was unconscious and limp. What happened? Mary's collapsed. She's unconscious, and her heartbeat and pulse are unstable. My shouting alerted Mary's attending physician. Soon, her doctor, a young physician named Williams, rushed in. Mary. Dr. Williams, being a regular at the store for small talks, was familiar to me. She was scheduled for surgery in a week, but now it's turned into an emergency. Dr. Williams, the young attending physician, was holding his head in distress. I understood the situation from his words. Originally, he had told me about a patient under his care with an extremely rare heart condition. They had been waiting for surgery, unable to find a doctor capable of performing the procedure. But recently, a doctor had been found. And she was admitted to this hospital to stabilize her condition in preparation for the surgery. That patient must have been Mary. So you're saying her condition suddenly worsened before the scheduled surgery day? Yes, that's right. In about 10 minutes, she might be. Dr. Williams trailed off, worried. Hearing those words, Mary's smiling face flashed through my mind. She has so many friends. She spends her days so happily. I want her to have even more of those happy days ahead. Bring the chart. Huh? Quick, show me her chart. Overwhelmed by my determination, Dr. Williams handed over the chart. I took it from his hands as if I was trying to snatch it. After thoroughly reading the chart, I decided I could do it. I'll do it. What? Tom. After I made my declaration, I began changing into surgical attire. Dr. Williams hurriedly followed me, flustered. 10 minutes is more than enough time. Tom. It's okay. Come with me. I said this to reassure Dr. Williams. I then decided to have him, her attending physician, join as an assistant. But Tom, how can you perform surgery? I'll explain that later. While Dr. Williams was still in shock, Mary was brought into the operating room. Dr. Tom. You've finally decided to come back. The head nurse in the operating room greeted me like that. I couldn't help but give a wry smile. Tom, you were originally a doctor at this hospital? I'll explain the details later. And, no, this wasn't my intention. I mumbled under the head nurse's gaze, but with no time to spare, we immediately started the surgery. Just as I had claimed, I was able to remove the lesion in 10 minutes. Incredible. I gave a wry smile at the head nurse's remark about my overwhelmingly swift scalpel skills. Anyway, a few hours later, Mary was moved from the operating room to the intensive care unit. Phew. Excuse me, may I sit next to you? Dr. Williams approached me in the break room where I was drinking coffee post-surgery. So, you are the legendary heart surgeon, Dr. Tom. Dr. Williams asked me this, sipping his coffee. Legendary, maybe not, but I have handled a lot of surgeries. I quietly smiled as I responded. Indeed, as he said, I once worked at this hospital. And until a year ago, I was practicing as a doctor in America. I joined this hospital after Dr. Tom had left, so I only heard the name. I could never have imagined it was you, working at the convenience store. Dr. Williams said this, clearly surprised. I can't believe that the Japanese person I met abroad turned out to be the renowned surgeon Dr. Tom. His words reminded me of someone I deeply loved. What? Dr. Tom. A single tear rolled down my cheek. Seeing this, Dr. Williams became flustered. I'm sorry for startling you. No, it's okay. If you're interested, I wonder if you would listen to my story. At these words, Dr. Williams nodded his response. I then began to talk about myself. After graduating from a medical school abroad, I had been active in America, a leading country in the field of cardiac surgery. During that time, I published many books and papers. I read them a lot. Not just in this hospital, but many doctors and aspiring doctors read your works. Ahaha, thank you. And then, in America, I met my wife, Jane. We met at a house party hosted by a mutual American friend. I can't believe that the Japanese person I met abroad turned out to be the renowned surgeon Dr. Tom. Attracted by her laugh as she said this, I decided to show my strong interest in her. She was cheerful and had many friends. She loved cute things, and as I gave her gifts of her favorite character, I too became fond of that character. Will you marry me? I asked her. Yes. And so, we got married in America. We didn't have children, but Jane and I lived happily together. I'm sorry, I can't make more time for you. It's okay. You have a lot of people waiting for your help. But next time you have a day off, you're all mine, okay? Of course. Without any major fights, we had a relationship where we supported each other. I deeply loved her, and I knew she loved me too. Will you be able to come home early today? No. I have a long surgery scheduled for today. Oh, I see. Good luck, Dr. Genius. Please stop that. The time that I thought would last forever suddenly came crumbling down. One day, returning home late from surgery, what awaited me was Jane. My wife had collapsed on the kitchen floor. Jane. Jane. Her body was still warm, and the food she was cooking hadn't yet cooled. But she was no longer breathing. Sudden onset, yet, if treatment had been timely, perhaps her life could have been saved. I cried until the words "menu to pamper Tom" written on the shopping list blurred beyond recognition. You are a hero who saves the lives of so many people, she used to say. Every time I remembered my wife, I couldn't help thinking, if only that day's surgery hadn't taken so long. The sensation of her body warmth fading into coldness still lingered in my hands. Since then, whenever surgeries would become prolonged, I couldn't stop worrying. What if something happened to someone important, a parent or friend, during this time? With such thoughts, I realized I couldn't continue being a cardiac surgeon. Despite attempts to persuade me to stay, I quit the hospital I was working at and decided to return to Japan. Tom. It's a pity about Jane. Matt was there to welcome me back. Matt and I belonged to the same medical school in America and had become longtime friends. Now, he had returned to Japan and was running a hospital. Worried about me, Matt invited me to stay at his house. Feeling indebted to his kindness, and guilty for lingering aimlessly, it was around that time when he asked me, Tom, what do you plan to do now? He reached out to me like that. And then, a year after returning to Japan, thanks to Matt's introduction, I started working at the hospital convenience store. Dr. Tom, to think that all this happened to you. Dr. Williams was moved to tears after hearing my story. He's truly a kind soul. He will surely become an excellent doctor. Dr. Tom. Dr. Williams. Here you are. Just then, the head nurse showed up. This head nurse had also helped me a lot when I worked as a doctor at this hospital. Mary has woken up. At those words, Dr. Williams and I hurried to her side. Although Mary couldn't speak yet, she pointed at a board and conveyed, "Thank you, Mr." Tearing up at her message, I saw Mary smile. Her smile resembled Jane's, and I felt truly grateful that I could help her. The next day, when Dr. Williams and I went to check on her, she seemed to have recovered significantly. She was sitting up in bed, smiling. Her complexion had improved, and we all felt relieved. This wasn't just for the two of us, but for everyone who knew Mary. Everyone seemed relieved and happy. I'm so glad. Mary, I'm so glad. A person who seemed to be her parent was, of course, crying with joy. But they seemed too young to be her parent. Too young even to be considered a grandmother. I was unsure of their relationship and inwardly tilted my head in confusion. In addition, another woman of the same age group entered and joined in on our joy. Are you the doctor who performed the surgery on Mary? Thank you for saving Mary this time. Oh, no, it's... As I couldn't help but stare at them, the two women greeted me.
Uh,
I'm Tom. I've always gotten along well with Mary. So, you're Mr. Tom. I'm Wilson, the director of a child care facility. And I work at the facility. My name is Catherine. The two women appeared to be teachers at a child care facility. They told me more about Mary. Mary had been living in the facility since she was small, as she had no parents. Usually, children leave the facility when they graduate from middle school. But Mary stayed on, even as a high school student, due to her illness. I see. Mary doesn't have a family then. I realized that the stories she told about her younger siblings were about the children at the facility. Having lost my own family just a year ago, I found myself deeply empathizing with Mary, who never knew her real family. There was a part of me thinking, what if she were my child? See you later, Mary. I'll bring you a drink from the convenience store later. Thank you, mister. After that, we all left Mary's hospital room. There, I heard more from the teachers of Mary's facility. Mary used to say she wanted to become a doctor because of her illness. But recently, she stopped talking about it. Is that so? Hearing this, my feelings grew stronger. I figured that Mary probably stopped mentioning it recently due to her circumstances and the high cost of medical school tuition. If so, I thought, maybe I could become something like a godfather to her. That was what I was considering. Tom. Matt. Do you want to go out for dinner? I agreed to Matt's invitation to have a meal together. So, I heard. You operated on a kid with only a 10-minute time limit and saved her.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to see that even after a year, your skills haven't dulled. Matt smiled, his expression turning to one of relief. It's really great. You've finally moved past it. Matt had always been concerned about me. He supported my relationship with Jane, and when we got married, he was the happiest for us. Now I've moved to an apartment nearby, but right after I returned to Japan, I stayed at his house. There wasn't much time then, but at that moment, that idea didn't come to me. That's why I was able to save her. That's true. This might be a good opportunity for you to return to being a doctor. No, but... Let me ask you this, do you think you can escape from that head nurse? Hearing that, I remembered the head nurse's gaze. She had always asked me, when will you come back to being a doctor, every time she came to the store. And now, after this incident, she said it was finally time. I probably can't escape it anymore. No, it's impossible. Right? I only became the hospital director because she pushed me into it. She's always been strong, that one. Well, I'm also happy to welcome you back as a doctor, Matt said with a smile, to which I returned a wry one. I continued to support Dr. Williams by keeping an eye on Mary. Bringing her my old medical books, Mary was thrilled to read them. And I felt the desire to help fulfill her dream. Dr. Tom. Catherine, good timing. It is. I asked Catherine, who had come to visit Mary, if it was possible for me to support her tuition. Catherine looked surprised at first, then happy about it. Actually, Mary always says, I wish Mr. Tom was my real dad. She revealed this unexpected fact. I was so surprised that my eyes went wide. Mary has always dreamed of being adopted, she added. Hearing this, I couldn't help but think deeply about it. My current apartment is small, so I thought about buying a larger house to live in. I have enough funds for it. Both Jane and I preferred walks in the park or sitting by the sea over spending money, so we had plenty of savings. I could even afford to buy a house outright. Mary, I said. What is it? She replied. What kind of house would you like to live in? I'd like a house with a garden. I want to study and take breaks walking a dog. Her words added one more item to my purchase list. Mary feels like a benefactor to me. She brought me back to the path of being a doctor, which I thought had ended. Since her surgery. Both the hospital director Matt and the head nurse, who had a strong influence, have requested that I return as a doctor soon. Mary, would you like to come live at my house? I asked. She responded, surprised. I decided to take her in, showing my gratitude and hoping that she will become a fellow professional in the future. Really? I'm so happy. Can I really be your daughter, mister? She exclaimed with joy. Of course. I'll provide for your education and create an environment conducive to studying. And once you get out of here, let's go look for a dog, I assured her. That's wonderful, Mary. So many of your dreams are coming true. Catherine exclaimed happily.
Yeah.
Catherine, Mary, and the others beamed with joy, which naturally brought a smile to my face. Now, I need to start preparing various things to properly welcome Mary into my home. I'm thinking of getting advice from someone who has a daughter living independently. As I contemplate this, I also join Mary in thinking about what kind of dog would be best and what kind of house we should have. Next week, Mary is scheduled to be discharged and move into the new house I purchased. I'm really happy to have a cute daughter, or is it a granddaughter? Her condition is stable, and Dr. Williams seems relieved too. Mary has always had good grades, it seems. However, it was difficult for her to fully dedicate herself to studying, as she had to take care of the younger children at her facility. Indeed, when she told me about the younger children before, I heard that they were naughty and difficult. I've prepared a proper study room, so you'll be doing a lot of studying, I say. Okay, I understand, she replies. Once she comes to my house, I plan to let her study as much as she likes. I intend to handle the household chores myself. I used to cook with Jane and actively took charge of the chores on days off, so I'm quite capable of handling them. I want Mary to feel at ease and act like a child in our home. And about Dr. Williams. Doctor? I really want to hear more about your experiences. Sure. Can you wait a bit? He started following me around, calling out, Doctor, Doctor. Whenever he finds some free time, he eagerly listens to my stories. It reminds me of Mary, who used to come to the shop to see me, and I can't help but smile. People say that Dr. Williams is like my disciple. That's how much he's come to be known. Matt also teases us by calling us Tom's disciple or master teacher. Well, if he teases too much, the head nurse scolds him with, stop teasing and get back to work. The head nurse is as formidable as ever, and I can't help but respect her. Wow, it's big. The day of Mary's discharge finally arrived. Cheered on by everyone involved, she came to our house. Mister. Let's go see the dogs. First, let's put your luggage down and relax a bit. I said with a smile, seeing how excited Mary was. After setting down her bags, I was planning to rest for a bit, but seeing her fidgety, I decided to go see the dogs. All of them are so cute, I mused. After much thought, she picked out a brown puppy. She named the puppy Marin and adored it greatly. I couldn't join any clubs or do anything strenuous because of my illness, she shared. We can gradually get you more active while playing with this little guy, I suggested. Okay. Mary responded enthusiastically. Soon after, she was able to go back to school, and I would see her happily commuting with friends. When she came home, she loved playing with Marin, and it was heartwarming to see. Of course, she was also diligent with her studies. Mister, there's something I need help with in my studies, she would ask. Sure, what part? I was always ready to assist. I found it rewarding to teach Mary since she would always come to me with any questions she had. Although, I must admit, having her read my research papers was a bit much for me. Hello, Tom, greeted a familiar voice. Catherine, I replied. Since that day, Catherine frequently visited our home. According to Catherine, she has always considered Mary like her own daughter, so it's natural for her to check in. I really have looked after Mary since she was very young. I've heard about her dreams countless times, Catherine shared with a sense of pride. While Mary studies, Catherine and I sometimes have tea together. Am I bothering you, Tom? I've been visiting quite often. You must be busy, right? Catherine asked with concern. Don't worry about it, I reassured her. Everyone at the hospital is considerate of Mary and I, and they often let me leave early. Of course, there are days when I have surgeries or get called in for emergencies. But whenever possible, I'm told to go home early for Mary's sake. I may not have your skills, Tom, but I'm here too, said Matt, always reassuring me. With his support, I can rest easy knowing I can leave things in his capable hands. Well, I just returned from working at the store, and I can't handle anything too strenuous yet, I admitted. Is that so? I'm glad to hear you're taking it easy, Catherine responded with relief. Oh, Catherine, you're here too. I hope I'm not intruding, Mary. While we were leisurely chatting, Mary appeared with Marin in her arms. As she came into the room, Mary's face lit up with joy. "What's got you so happy?" I asked her curiously. "I was just thinking this must be what it's like to have a mom and dad," Mary said, smiling happily. Her words had made me feel a bit shy. Tom?" Catherine hesitated. "Yes?" I responded. "Is it okay if I keep visiting personally?" she asked. "Yes, of course," I agreed. Mary smiled joyfully at our conversation. Mary, making up for lost time, put in a lot of effort. Her grades improved, and eventually, she got accepted into medical school. We celebrated her achievement together with Marin and Catherine. "Being a doctor is a long journey, but I know you can do it, Mary," I said.
Yeah.
"I'll work hard. I want to be a doctor who helps many people, just like you," she replied with determination. "That's very reassuring to hear." I smiled, thinking that by the time Mary becomes a doctor, I might have already retired. By that time, Williams will have become an excellent doctor, and it might be nice to enjoy a quiet life with him, Mary, and Marin. In America, I gained a lot of recognition. It's a place of lasting friendships and where I met the love of my life. But it also holds the painful memory of losing my beloved family. "Mister, I've been thinking, although I admire your work in cardiac surgery, I want to pursue pediatrics," said Mary. "Pediatrics?" I asked, surprised. "Yes. I've always been around children. I want to give them a future, just like I was given a chance," she explained with a determined look. Mary is truly remarkable. My encounter with her has been invaluable. Now in my 50s, I genuinely hope for a peaceful life in Japan with Mary by my side. "Doctor, about the upcoming surgery," said Williams. "I'm planning to entrust it to Williams," I replied. "Thank you. Will you assist me?" he asked. "Of course," I responded. Even though I've returned, I must continue honing my skills as a cardiac surgeon. I'm also focusing on nurturing my juniors. Williams, who seemed a bit unreliable at first, has now become a renowned doctor trusted by everyone. I can't let myself fall behind him. "So? How are things with your girlfriend?" I asked. "Just normal," I replied nonchalantly. I chuckled at Matt, who seemed to be teasing me. There's only one person he could be referring to when he mentions girlfriend. Honestly, I still can't think of anyone other than Jane as my wife. She seems to understand that, and doesn't try to get too close beyond a certain point. But, it's Mary and Marin who forcefully bring us together. I'd be happier if my two favorite people got together. Mary says with a laugh, while Marin moves back and forth between us, leaving us no choice but to smile wryly at their antics. When I shared this at work, Williams chuckled, saying it's just like Mary. "By the way, Dr. Tom," he started. "Huh? What's up?" I asked. "Well, what if I told you that I might become your son-in-law?" Williams's words left me momentarily stunned. It seems that Williams, always earnest in our conversations, and Mary, who always tries to enjoy her limited days with a smile, were attracted to each other. So, when Mary got accepted into medical school, Williams confessed his feelings, and they started dating. "Dr. Tom? Are you okay?" "Sorry. I was just lost in thought for a moment." "Both of you, make sure you find happiness," I said. "We will," Williams replied with a smile. I decided to trust in his words. When I finished work and returned home, I found Mary and Catherine cooking dinner together. "Thank you both," I said appreciatively. "It's okay," they replied. "That's right. To me, Catherine's cooking tastes like home." "I've always wanted to learn and cook meals together," Mary explained with a look of admiration. Watching the two of them smiling and laughing together, I left them to it and stroked Marin's head as he playfully nuzzled around. "Jane, I haven't completely gotten over you, and none of us are blood related, but is it okay to be happy as a family?" I whispered, feeling as if the Jane in the photo was smiling and giving me her permission. Years later, Mary would marry, calling me and Catherine's dad and mom, bringing us to tears. For such a future, I continue to strive every day to save lives.